So let's talk the good, or what we can do to address the problems. Dr. Piper, your new book is titled Grow Up. How do we do that?
Well, first of all, you need to acknowledge that being a grown-up, if you will, is a good thing. And that stagnating in adolescence, in childhood, is a bad thing. Do we want to live in perpetual childishness? Or do we want to accept the responsibility and the challenge of adulthood and approach it with courage? Now, notice I use some key words there: responsibility, courage, challenge. I'm assuming that those things are good. I'm assuming that iron sharpening iron is a good thing. I'm assuming that we are tested by fire and refined by it. I'm assuming that the old athletic axiom, no pain, no gain, brings with it some wisdom. All of those things imply moving from childhood, whether it be spiritual, intellectual, or even physical childhood, to adult maturity. My book is not just written to millennials. My book is written to 24-year-olds and 42-year-olds. My book is written to 52-year-olds and 62-year-olds, because we all need to recognize what St. Paul said in his letter to the church of Ephesus. Speaking the truth in love, you are to grow up. That comes right out of the book of Ephesians, Paul's letter to the church of Ephesus. Speaking the truth in love, you are to grow up. So what do I think the beautiful solution is here, the good solution here, the good life versus the safe life? Truth and love. Let's talk about those two things. One of the chapters of my book, I title it, You're Not Webster. And that title is a reference to Webster's dictionary. And the premise of that chapter is words have definitions. Words mean something. 2 + 2 does not equal green. 2 + 2 = 4. Doesn't equal 5. It's not a color. It's a formula, a mathematical formula that has an objective answer. There's a truth with a capital T behind that question. What is 2 + 2? In other words are defined, or otherwise we couldn't be communicating right now. You wouldn't understand me. I wouldn't understand you. You couldn't disagree with me because it would make no difference. So we have to understand that we're not Webster, that there are objective standards out there to pursue, that there's a measuring rod outside of those things being measured, or we can do no measuring. C.S. Lewis. Truth and love, very quickly. Truth, Jesus tells us he is the way, the truth, and the life, and that no man comes to the Father but by him. Os Guinness tells us that truth is true even if everyone disagrees with it, and falsehood is false even if everyone agrees with it. Truth is true, and that's just the end of it. In other words, truth is true. I don't care what you think about it. You shouldn't care what I think about it. Truth judges both of us. So truth is an objective fact. Jesus himself is that truth. Biblical truths endure. They're unchangeable, immutable, time-tested. They're true. Now, love. On your anniversary, did you send your wife an I tolerate you card? The answer is no. You sent her a card suggesting that you love her. And the reason you did that is because tolerance is an inferior virtue. Tolerance doesn't say, I like you. Tolerance doesn't say, I love you. Tolerance says, I could care less about you. Do what you want. I'll tolerate you. Christian charity, love, is a superior virtue, whereas tolerance says, I couldn't care less what you do. I'll tolerate it. Christian love says, I care deeply about what you do. I love you. Now stop. Tolerance enables, whereas love doesn't. If you want people to grow up, and if you want to show people that you love them, then you need to stop tolerating their sin. That's the solution. Teach the time-tested truths that challenge people to step out of their childish ways and speak the truth in love and grow up.
Well, that's powerful. We need the common language, and we need to take our words back. Sam Sorbo, our mutual friend, has written a great book, Words for Warriors. But you're right, I'm not Webster. I can't define what the words mean. There should be an objective definition, and we have one. It's called a dictionary, and yet people want to change words and meanings all the time to suit their own needs. What other lesson